Hi, welcome to Sue Marie P. My name's Sue, and today I'm going to share a no yeast, no knead buckwheat bread that's totally gluten-free. It's super healthy. I love having it toasted with spreads on it for breakfast. It's super easy and it doesn't take that long. So let's get started. First thing we need to do is preheat the oven to 180 degrees C, fan forced. And before we started filming, I've just pre-toasted half a cup of pumpkin seeds and half a cup of sunflower seeds, and they're cooling, so then they'll be ready to mix in. And you can add chia seeds or sesame seeds if you like. I just liked it simple with those two seeds. If you don't want pumpkin seeds, you can add all sunflower seeds. In this bowl, I've got 60 grams or 12 tablespoons of ground flax, and I've got 2 cups of water here. I'm just going to add 1 cup or thereabouts and mix this together. And what the flax does, it kind of gels everything together and creates a really good structure for the bread. Now this loaf of bread isn't a fluffy, soft buckwheat sliced like sandwich bread, but it's quite a dense, wholesome, grainy, nutty kind of flavour or texture. So I like it for toast, and you could put eggs on it or anything like that. So I've whisked that up. I'm just going to set that aside. So we need to let that rest for 10 minutes. And then we need to grab our flour. So in this bowl, I've got my buckwheat flour. So I've got 200 grams in here, which is 1 cup plus 1/3. And then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So it's got no yeast, as I said before, just the baking powder helps it rise. And half a teaspoon of salt. I was doing so many test bakes that one time I added too much salt and it was too salty. But just season it to taste. So just mix those together. And another thing that I've started experimenting with is, I think you say psyllium or psyllium husks. So these are kind of like the grainy bits. That also helps bind it together. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of that. Whoops. The other thing you need to do is prepare a small loaf tin. This one's about, I think it's 9 centimetres or 3.5 inches by 21 centimetres or 8.5 inches. It's the smallest tin I had. I did it in slightly larger one and the bread was not as high. So just use what you like, but if you've got a really small tin, that's ideal. And I've greased it with a little bit of butter and lined it with the paper and just left it long on the sides. That makes it easy to get out. You don't have to kind of like struggle with getting it out. So prepare that and have that ready. So it's been about 10 minutes or so, and our flax and water is very thick. So I'm going to add that into my flour mix. So it creates like this jelly-like substance. And I'm going to add another half a cup of water. I'm just going to monitor it and add what I need as we mix it. And into that, I'm going to add some apple cider vinegar. So I'm going to just pop it in a little ramekin first. So 1 tablespoon, double check my notes, yep. And a half a teaspoon of baking soda or bicarbonate of soda. That was my 1/4 teaspoon because my other one's dirty. So I'm just mixing that. So that goes all really foamy. So I'm going to pop that in as well. And that'll also help give it some air. And I'm just using my little electric handheld beaters to mix all that. Next, I'm going to toss in my seeds. They've all cooled down now. I'm just going to mix it with my spatula, just to double check that the flour's all mixed and whether I need any more water. I think just the 1.5 cups will be right today. So I'll adjust my notes on the recipe, and now I'm going to pour that into my prepared tin. Scrape off any excess. Now I haven't added any maple syrup or olive oil or anything like that. I wanted to have it more of a simple, pure recipe, but if you wanted to add a little bit of oil, you can. If you want to add maple syrup for a little bit of sweetener, you can. You can also add more seeds to the top, but I just like it simple, so when I cut it and toast it, they don't go everywhere. So I'm going to bake this now for about 60 to 80 minutes. At 60 minutes, I like to take the bread out and then remove it from the tin, flip it upside down just to brown it on the other side for another 10 minutes. So let's bake it. What I will do with all my bread making, I like to bake it with a little bit of water in the ramekin, so I'm just going to fill that up. And then I just pop it in the base of the oven. That creates a nice steam, kind of moisture in the oven, and then you have a really thin crust. The time has gone off, so I'm going to grab the bread out of the oven and flip it over to cook it for a little bit longer. So what I'm going to do is lift it up and flip it out onto this baking tray here. And I'm just going to cook it a little bit longer on the back side for another 10 minutes. The bread's had another 10 minutes. And you do the tap test. It sounds hollow, so I'm going to completely cool this before I slice into it to show you. And then we'll come back. So the bread's been cooling for about, I don't know, a few hours now. It's a very dense bread, not a fluffy sandwich bread, but I love it. I love all the seeds and the nuttiness, even though it hasn't got nuts. So what I'll do is I'll slice this up and put some slices in the freezer, and then just grab them out when I need them and toast them when I want to have them for lunch or breakfast. So if you like a buckwheat bread, give this one a go, and let me know in the comments below how you like it. Hit the thumbs up if you've liked my video, share it with a friend, and stick around because I'll pop a few other recipes up above for buckwheat. And if you're new here today, consider subscribing. All you need to do is have a Google account, hit the bell, and then you get notified when I've got a new video. And I do videos twice a week. Thanks for watching. Bye.